Okay, so what is today? Today is April 4th, 2020, a Saturday, which was originally my one day of the week to leave the house. But unfortunately, since outside it's basically raining sideways, that's not going to happen. However, though, I do have some good news and I do have some bad news. And so the good news is that today is the 150th anniversary of Golden Gate Park. April 4th, 1870 was the very first day that the park was open to the public. And so the bad news is that it's going to have to spend its sesquicentennial alone. And that's kind of sad because there was this huge festival, huge celebration planned in order to celebrate the 150 years. I think they estimated about 150,000 people were going to attend. There was going to be music performances. They had a big Ferris wheel constructed just for this occasion. Probably a cotton candy machine in there somewhere too. By all accounts, this was going to be one of the biggest events of the year and the biggest event of the season at least. And for obvious reasons, that's not going to happen. So yeah, basically like everyone else who has a springtime birthday this year, their party has to be postponed. But even though we can't all be there in person to celebrate its anniversary, we can still celebrate from the comfort of our own home and kind of appreciate all the stuff that the park has gone through, all the different changes that have happened, and most likely get ready for when we do eventually celebrate later this year. And so I just wanted to go through a couple of things that they had planned for this festival, and one of the main attractions there is a giant Ferris wheel. And this thing was going to be huge. Originally, the very first plans that they drew up for this, they wanted to have this Ferris wheel be 800 feet tall, which would have made it I think the tallest in the Western Hemisphere, which would have been incredible to actually have that built, but also probably look very strange to have it sticking out from Golden Gate Park so high. And I guess the logistics didn't really work out, and they kind of scaled it back to 150 feet, which kind of makes sense because of the 150 years. And I call this a Ferris wheel, but it's actually what's known as an observation wheel, which is basically bigger Ferris wheels that have enclosed gondolas that you can't fall out of, which is probably the only reason why I would ever consider riding it. And so the observation wheel hasn't only been planned and scheduled and everything like that, it's also been built. They have it built right now in Golden Gate Park. Now, if you look at pictures of it, you can see that they've already poured the concrete. They've already constructed most of the wheel. The only thing that are missing right now are the gondolas, which I assume that they'll put in later, but it's just sitting there. It's kind of unfinished and will remain there for who knows how long. But luckily the wheel is scheduled to be around for at least another year. So hopefully, the park will open back up, we'll have more people, we'll have the festival eventually and celebrate the 150 years and be able to ride that thing and not be terrified by it. And another thing that they brought in order to celebrate the 150 years of Golden Gate Park is a small herd of bison. And that's kind of exciting because we haven't really seen more than, I think, about 4 or 5 bison in the pens for a long time. And the bison's history with Golden Gate Park goes back to almost when the park first opened. I think they came around in the late 1800s, maybe around 1890, and it was because they were becoming extinct. They didn't want them to disappear forever, so they transported a group of them to Golden Gate Park, and so that they can take care of them, they can breed them. And according to the website, they've increased their numbers by over 100 just from that small group in Golden Gate Park. And now I think there are about 200,000 bison living in America, which is really nice. Even in the midst of a crisis like we're going through right now, I think it's kind of important for us to appreciate these animals and, appreciate the fact that they're enjoying their lives and kind of thriving in this really weird time. Like once we all abandon our cities and the bison are free to roam around the land again, the world's going to be a better place. And so I did mention that, there were going to be a lot of musical performances at the park for this weekend. And since that's not going to happen, what they're doing actually is offering virtual concerts. So they're going to have a performance by Boz Scaggs this weekend and then Metallica on April 13th. And then from there, who knows, you might find your favorite artists playing a couple months from now, so keep an eye out for that. So a couple of other things, they were also going to have updates to the lights and effects around the music concourse. So the big dome that they usually have concerts and music performances at, they were going to update that. They were also going to bring in the large AIDS memorial quilt back into the city to display for the world basically. But yeah, things have been delayed a little bit. They're not canceled, which is a good sign. They're just, they've just been pushed back, most likely till the fall. hopefully once we get everything sorted out and we can return to a normal life. And honestly, I can't wait to go back and celebrate with everyone and visit the De Young Museum, the Academy of Sciences, the Conservatory of Flowers, the tea gardens, all the botanical gardens. I just really feel that people are going to be so excited to visit these places again after being cooped up in their houses for months, to finally go and visit your favorite spot in the park or your favorite attraction, or to, you know, go and paddle the boats on Stowe Lake again. That's going to be so much fun. But again, yes, that is going to be a ways off, and we don't know exactly when that's going to be. But for now, at the very least for today, you know, we can celebrate 150 years of Golden Gate Park, and to remember that this thing has been around for a long time, and it's going to continue to be around for even longer. And so I'd love to hear from you guys what your favorite memories of Golden Gate Park are. You know, leave them in the comments below. I'd love to hear like your most memorable times spent in the park. Any first dates, any family outings, weddings, chance encounters with musical performers, you know, anything like that. I'd love to hear them. So I just wanted to have this video be a small update about the park's 150th anniversary, because I think that's, you know, a big milestone for any national park. And yeah, I know I wish we all could have been at the park today for this weekend celebrating it, even though it is raining. Even if I can't be there in person to talk about this, I still want to be able to document the events and the things that go on in the city as best I can. And real quick shout out to my sister who sent me this book here today. Actually, it came in, called Infinite City, which is an atlas to San Francisco. This book was written by Rebecca Solnit, and basically what it does is it dives into the history and culture of San Francisco by way of maps. And so, for example, this map called Cinema City, it documents all the movie theaters that were in San Francisco at one point or another, and also the different filming locations of the movie Vertigo. They also have a map called The Lost World, which details south of Market before the redevelopment. There's a map detailing the Fillmore. There's a map featuring every single coffee shop in the city. Like, if you're interested at all in history, cartography, just generally good writing, I would recommend this book. I would definitely recommend checking out Green Apple Books' online store, because they are still selling things, they are still operating, just all online right now. So yeah, check it out, support your local business, because they're the people that need it the most right now. So that's all I've got for this video. If you want to see more videos kind of like this, more updates about the city, about events that go on and things that happen, make sure to hit subscribe, hit like, hit the notification bell down below, and leave a comment. Let me know what you think. Again, I want to hear your stories about Golden Gate Park, okay? So, until next time, see you guys at the next spot.